Hey my friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. My name is Melissa and I have for you another week's worth of meal ideas, and hopefully you will take away at least one or two of these that you can use in your meal planning to make your life a little bit easier. So let's go ahead and head into my kitchen and see what's for dinner. It was a Sunday night, so you know that means a quick and easy meal. So I made this suddenly salad, pasta salad. And so I boiled up the pasta, and on the back of the box, there's a recipe for an antipasto pasta salad. So that's kind of what I did because I had some of the ingredients and I just added a creamy Italian dressing and some chunks of ham and cheese. And then we had it with our sub sandwiches, and this was a very quick and easy meal, yet very delicious. On this night, we had a jalapeno popper chicken chili, and I'm gonna have a link in my description box because this was actually part of a Crocktober collab that I did. So I'm not going to go into too many details about how I make this soup. I'll just list that link to the video in the description box. But this was kind of a take on a white chicken chili, but also kind of a taco soup. And I did add these Great Northern beans, and I probably should have added another can, but next time I make it, I'll probably also add a can of corn and a can of black beans just to give it a little more protein in there. But it was a really good soup, and it's very easy to make, but you just add all the ingredients, the fresh jalapenos, the garlic, the rotel, you add some chicken broth, some taco seasoning, some ranch seasoning, and you add it all in there and just let it cook all day. And it's one of those dump and go meals that's very rewarding when you walk in your house and you have that just aroma in your house of this. And like I said, it's super easy to make, dump and go. And I'm probably going to make a kind of dump and go frozen dinner video. Let me know in the comments below if that's something you'd be interested in, because now that I've started subbing, it's gotten a little harder for me to decide what I need to make because sometimes I get called in at the last minute and I haven't planned anything for dinner. But anyway, let me know in the comments below if that's something you'd be interested in seeing me make videos of. But anyway, I'll just let you finish watching how I put this together. Now that it's been cooking all day, I just took the chicken out and stirred up the cream cheese so that the cream cheese would melt, and then I added the chicken back in, and this is what it looks like. I added some sour cream and some cheese to the top, and it was very good. The next night we had another meal for the Crockpot collab. And again, that video is going to be linked below, but this was very good. It was kind of a take on a cheeseburger soup and a hamburger helper. And so I just browned my ground beef and put in all the ingredients, which was rotel, garlic. I actually used garlic, minced garlic and garlic powder. And then I added my marinara sauce and the cream, and then I let that cook. I had already cooked the ground beef in this crock pot, which I will list it below as well, because this is a crock pot that you can brown your ground beef in and then turn it into a crock pot. So I'll link that below. But anyway, I didn't add the pasta or the cheese until the end because the pasta doesn't need to cook for very long, maybe like 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes at the most. But once that pasta was done, that's when I added in the Velveeta. And then I wanted it to be a little bit soupier because the elbow macaroni did soak up a lot of that broth. So once the cheese was melted, I did go back in and add a little more marinara sauce as well as a little bit more milk or heavy whipping cream to it just to make it a little bit soupier. But man, this was really good. This was it wasn't really soup, but it wasn't really hamburger helper because it was so creamy. But this was a very good meal. Boy, was this good. So this is definitely one of those meals that is that you're gonna add to your rotation. I just put a little bit of sour cream on top with a little bit of parsley, served it with some bread, and that was dinner this night. Tonight for dinner, I have some beef tips, some stew meat, if you want to call it that. That's what it's called on the package. And I am just going to put this in my skillet and season it up. And I'm also going to, once it's browned and seasoned, I'm going to put a gravy in it, and we're gonna have this over rice along with some mac and cheese and some green beans. So the mac and cheese is for my son because he doesn't really like the green beans. So I'm going to just go ahead and get this seasoned up. Well, I thought I was filming me putting the spices in, but I wasn't. So I'll just go ahead and tell you what I put. I put some garlic, I put salt and pepper, I put some onion powder, and I also put some of this Weber roasted garlic and herb. And this has just been cooking up for just a couple of minutes and it's starting to brown. So I'm going to add the rest of this bag of this seasoning blend that I have and let that cook in there with it. All right, I have probably about 2 cups of water, maybe a little bit more, and I'm gonna add some brown gravy mix to the water. And this is going to get my gravy sort of going. I'm down to little pebbles of it. Anyway, I'm going to get this mixed up. I probably need to add a little more. Hold on. Okay, I got a little bit more added in there. And so before I add this, I'm going to add a little bit of flour to the meat. And that's going to kind of help thicken it up as well. Get that stirred up. Okay, so the flour is stirred in real well, so I'm going to go ahead and add this gravy mix. I'm also going to add a little bit more pepper. I'm going to add a little bit of better than bouillon, beef better than bouillon. And finally, I'm going to add
just a couple splashes of Worcestershire sauce. That's good. All right, get that off that spoon, get this mixed in, and then once it starts boiling a little bit, I'm going to turn the heat down and let it cook till the gravy thickens, till it's time to eat dinner. Probably about an hour. I'm gonna let it simmer on low because I want that meat to kind of hopefully tenderize a little bit before we put it over the rice. So anyway, just gonna cover it up when it starts to boil and let it simmer. All right, we are starting to boil, and you can see the little bubbles around the edges. And I'm gonna keep an eye on this because I'll probably have to come in and add a little more water periodically, just because of the flour and the gravy mix thickening this up. And I don't want it to be too thick, but I do want to keep it fairly thick. So anyway, I'm just gonna turn it down to a low simmer, cover it, and let it cook. And I'm gonna get my green beans ready, as well as my rice.
And this is dinner this night. You can actually cook this in a crock pot all day if you want to throw it in before work. But this is just a good comfort meal, and it's very filling and it's very family friendly. And we have another soup, and this night I decided on Paula Deen's potato soup, and I will link the recipe in the description box. But I love this recipe for potato soup. It's just so easy to make, and I had all the ingredients on hand, so that's kind of why I decided to make this soup, because I didn't have to go to the store. I could put it in the crock pot before I left and just let it cook all day. But it's super easy to make, and instead of using the cream of chicken like the recipe calls for, I did use the cream of celery because, as you know, I don't like cream of chicken soup. So when I got home, I just had to add the cream cheese, which I used 1 block of cream cheese and went ahead and diced it up just to make it a little easier to melt, and added that to the soup and let that cook all together and let that cream cheese melt. And then it was time for dinner. I did have a little bit of extra Colby Jack that I needed to use up, so I just added that to it. But as far as toppings, I thought I had some bacon bits, but I didn't feel like frying any up. But you can put anything on top of this soup that you want. You can put some shredded cheese, some sour cream, which is what I did, and then you can put some bacon bits or some chives. But this is just a really, really good potato soup, and it is a very comfy, cozy meal to make on a cool night.
It's Saturday and making a simple lunch. This is something that I got from, I think, Sam's, and I love Jamaican beef patties, and my son told me about them, so I got them, and they both tried them and said they were really good. So I'm gonna make this and some tater tots for lunch, and then we have the LSU game tonight. So simple lunch, that's what we're having.
I cooked the beef patties in my air fryer, and they came out so flaky, and I do recommend these. These are really very good and done in about 15 minutes. But anyway, thank you so much for stopping by and seeing what I had for dinner this past week, and I hope that I gave you a little bit of inspiration. And if you're new to my channel and you love this sort of content, then I would love it if you would click the subscribe button as well as the bell button and become part of my YouTube family. And if you're looking for more meal ideas, then go ahead and check out the box you see on the screen right now, and I'll see you next time. Bye.